Yeah, sure. I'm just wondering, do you consider that to be mentally stable behavior?
I don't think he's mentally stable at all. I definitely know he's not mentally stable, but he's not capable of taking care of himself. I've tried to help him get his driver's license. I've tried to help him get.
I mean, are you a psychologist?
No.
I mean, so you can't make a diagnosis.
I guess you're right. I can't. But he doesn't.
About whether or not, hang on, about whether or not a person can take care of themselves, and even if he couldn't, and I'll just grant to you that he couldn't, wouldn't you then defer that to professionals who could assist him so that he could take care of himself rather than exploiting a mentally ill person, making them sleep on the floor like a dog? How is that not monstrous?
I guess I thought because it's consensual and he wants to be next to me all the time. I didn't think it was.
Is it consensual? If a mentally ill person gives consent, are they really giving consent?
He wasn't diagnosed as mentally ill, so I mean, I don't know. I never thought about this.
Sorry, Andrew, I just want to jump in. You mentioned before the show that you're a mother. If you have a mentally ill person that you acknowledge is mentally ill living in your home, how are you feel safe with your child around him? Why are you exposing your child to that?
My daughter loves him, and he's really good with my daughter too.
But you just said that he's mentally ill.
Well, I don't know what you guys considered mentally ill. He can take care of himself. He's good with kids.
Would bark like dog if requested. Stands as coat rack for you. Sleeps on the floor like a dog. Is treated as a pet by you by your admission.
But he's still a human.
I think that a person who would be willing to do that sounds like they have some screws loose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's not he has a good heart. He's not a bad person.
I'm not blaming him. Yeah. I don't think he's bad. I don't think that the person here who's completely unwell is the bad person.
She asked about my kid, and if he was a bad person, of course he wouldn't be around my kid. But he's not a bad person. He's actually really good with people.
But what do you think that is not sending some sort of message or teaching your, you said it was a daughter, I believe?
Well, he doesn't do that. If my kid is there, I sure co-parent with my sister. So if my sister gives me, we share custody, if my daughter's there, he doesn't do that around my daughter.
No, not only that, but do you not think that it's confusing your daughter to see her mother in a relationship with a man who's a doormat for her instead of a loving monogamous relationship, or even not a monogamous relationship, but a real partner?
You have a point. She kind of I guess so, yeah, because she's dominant too. She kind of tells him what to do, and yeah, no, there's a point there, yeah.
Because the father figure in your life, or at least whoever that is, maybe the stepdad, the daddy stepdad, whatever it might be in people's situations, I know that for women that really determines a lot about the future relationships that they engage in and what they expect for themselves and what they think they deserve. Shout out to my dad, who would warm the car up every single morning before school when I was a kid. Do you not want better for your daughter than this? Don't you think you deserve a real partner in life who...
I think I'm just scared of men because I went through a year ago and I've known him for 8 years, so it's easy to be close to someone you're comfortable with than get abused again.
Have you ever thought of conquering that fear and I don't know, CBT therapy or something like that to really move past it instead of just have a man...
I'm trying to go to therapy, but every time I try to get therapy, it seems like there's always an issue trying to get a therapist to help with something. So I've definitely reached out to people. I've definitely asked for help, but it seems like there's always a insurance problem. If I get that fixed, there's another issue.
Well, have you thought about the idea that perhaps you're just a horrible person? Have you perhaps reconciled the fact that you could just be a fucking awful person who likes to do damage to men?
No, because I've had boyfriends say I'm a wonderful girlfriend. I've had boyfriends...
When you make them sleep on the floor?
No,
and make them act as a coat rack for your friends? So you can demean them?
Technically, he's not my boyfriend, but when I've had boyfriends, I've cleaned their dishes, taken care of their dog, walked their dog. I've also been the one that takes care of all their stuff while they're paying the financial bills, and I just sit there and I take care of them.
I think that there's an overemphasis often on the idea of therapy, therapists, and the fact that you need a mental health professional to come in. I think that the first step, honestly, is where's the common sense here? I don't actually even understand. Where's the common sense?
This guy has the right to leave at any point.
If you make a man sleep on the floor like a dog and then publicly proclaim that he's your pet, right? You might be a horrible fucking person. Like, I don't know why
Well,
you
he
would
has
need
the
a
right to
psychologist
leave and
tell
go
you
anywhere he wants.
it's fucking horrible.
You pay all his
What?
bills. Why would he ever leave if you're paying all his bills? He doesn't really have. He's
Well,
like
he's not-
leeching off of you.
He's not trapped there either.
But he doesn't have an incentive to leave if you're paying all his bills. Why would he go be broker and homeless or whatever
Well,
it
that's
might
what I'm
be?
saying. If he
Sleeps
thought I
by
was
you every night.
if anybody thought I was a horrible person, they can always get up and leave my place too.
But
Like,
do you see
he's
how you've
claiming that I'm a horrible
incentivized him to
person.
stay in this
He's
environment?
dependent. He's dependent
on you. You've incentivized him. It's kind of like federal government aid on welfare that if you're just getting a consistent check or something, why would you ever go and get your own job or figure out
Sure,
something
basically
else?
Like here, I'll show you what
it.
she's saying,
And-
right? Let's
yeah,
let's
a little
reverse
bit.
this.
Okay.
We're not
Let's
as
reverse
much
this for a second. Hang on. Let's reverse it. Let's pretend for a second that I was on the panel and I said, well, I found a mentally unwell woman who can't take care of herself and she's totally dependent upon me. At night, I make her sleep on the ground, right? I make her do all sorts of sexual things whenever I feel like it, right? And I treat her like a doormat in front of every woman who comes over. Not a doormat like, ooh, I'm kind of rude to her, but literally make her stand there with her arm extended, and then me and my friends hang our coats and balance our drinks from her little nose. Would
Well, not
you?
to that extent,
Would any
but yeah.
woman here not say that that was fucking horrific and that I was a monster? Go ahead. I just, by a show of hands, who would say, if I said all of that to you, that I was a monster? Show of hands. Yeah, okay. But somehow the sisterhood can't be bothered to express to this woman that what she's doing is fucking monstrous.
No one's
And
ever
it's
said
like-
anything to me.
Yeah, I'm sure they haven't.
Well, I guess it's because on Twitter, like, I've seen a lot of stuff about findom. So, like,
What is that?
findom is, I don't know specific terms and all that, but
She's just saying we don't kink shame around here.
yeah,
That's like
exactly.
her.
I was like, some people are into that stuff, so I just try to like respectfully listen. I haven't
Well,
really
basically,
thought that
he's
people
saying
are like
anybody that's
mentally
a kink-
ill.
Yeah, but if it
they
was a
have
man, if it was
fetishes
a
like
man,
that.
Well,
by
you're
your own
saying all
admission, by your own hand
submissive
raised,
people are mentally
he would be a
ill.
monster.
That's basically what you're saying is all people that want to actually be, because there's people that pay people
Pay
to be
people,
made.
pay
there's
pigs,
people
yeah.
that enjoy that. Like there's people that dress up in fucking sex outfits and clean your house and live there permanently.
Yeah, they're mentally unwell. They're mentally unwell. Listen, you can't
It's part of the
tell
being in
me
this community.
that a guy who demands that you take his last dime so that he can come harder is not a mentally unwell man. Of course they're mentally unwell, and it's exploiting that mental unwellness. And it's like, somehow I don't understand why women give each other a pass on this. Why they're not like, you sick psychopath, why are you doing this horrible thing to this guy? I don't actually get it.
I guess I can explain that. We some women, when we're like doing this shit, we get like kind of, I don't know, our brain, when society is like, oh, that's okay, then we start doing, we get used to doing that stuff. It's not, anybody doesn't tell us it's wrong. We're not going to break that pattern of being like, oh, that doesn't sound right. No, you know, because we kind of get like into this, like, just as all of society, we're kind of brainwashed into shit, and we're kind of like, don't think that's brainwashing.
Yeah, but did he ask for this or did you propose the idea?
He asked for the dog bed. He's asked for this stuff. Like, I didn't.
Did he like sit you down, have a conversation with you?
Actually, yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit.
And do you ever see this ending? Is there an end point in the future?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. But they're.
Yeah, but the
I mean,
idea
if I
too-
met somebody that I actually enjoyed spending time with, that actually like was like wanted to do the equal part, like have a car and they had a good job, then yeah, I would be like, yeah, you know what, I found someone that I actually appreciate. Like they want to put half of the weight into the relationship. I probably would be like, this is not going to work out.
It seems like from everything that you've said about relationships that like relationships to you are just like a financial situation where like if we want to go 50-50, provide for him, he provides for me. But like in my opinion, there's so much more, like especially when it comes to long-term monogamy and having a child already. If her dad's not in her life, having a strong person to help. I know being a single mom, it's impossible to do everything. That's amazing that your sister helps out. But even being able to spend enough quality time with your child while also trying to bring income in. I'm only 24. I don't have a daughter, but I do have friends who have, you know, children, and they have husbands who are very helpful, and I can't imagine them
I
doing
don't
half
know
the
what
things
it's
they
like
do.
to have a good man.
So,
yeah.
has this started from when you were young? Have you always gone after abusive men, or at least men who just weren't high value, up to the standard, really wanted you for everything that you are and not just the financial aspect?
Yeah, it's been an issue with starting with my narcissistic mother to like the men she dated. Yeah. So it's,
So do you see that you're repeating that pattern for your daughter now, when you can break the cycle instead and choose better?
I've started
Somebody
to notice
like
it
a-
more recently, and it's been very difficult to break something that's psychologically ingrained into me. I need that's not an overnight healing thing that you can just do overnight. That is a lot of work to put in.
Somebody
Well, is your daughter
like
not worth putting in the work for?
Can you guys shut the fuck?
Yeah, she is.
So then why not start tomorrow? Kick him out of your house. You don't have to find a new man, but you can put all that energy into your child, and you can heal
Somebody
and
like
attract
a-
somebody
Hey,
who
can you
wants
guys-
you for who you are, not just any financial benefits that you can offer, not for a dog bed, for genuinely who you are as a human being.
You know, I actually, the last week I've been, like, we've started fighting about stupid shit, and I was like, you know, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I've been doing it for a while, and it's not enjoyable like it was when we were first, like, connected. It was just a past relationship, and I'm dragging that along with me because I'm scared of, like, fully embracing being in the future and not in the past, and I think that's just trauma just holding me back from being happy.
The best advice I ever got
No,
is,
you're not a
yeah.
victim here.
You
You're
gotta
not-
let
You're not
go.
a victim
Well, yeah,
here.
I
You're the
know.
victimizer here. You're
Well,
the victimizer, not the victim. Like, every time I see this pattern of when a woman is clearly victimizing a man, clearly victimizing him, they go, well, it's okay. Don't give me too much pushback because after all, I have former trauma. It's like, that's no excuse. I'm sorry. You don't get to do horrible things to people because horrible things were done to you. All of us have had horrible things done to us. All of us. No, you're no exception, right? Everybody's had horrible things done to them in life,
Yeah, but also
and
people
have
have also
dealt
done
with
horrible
horrible
things to
challenges
other
in life.
people. It's not-
Everybody has dealt with horrible challenges,
Yeah.
right? What you're doing right now, right? You should be reflective because this is psychotic. It's psychotic and horrific, and you just got to stop, right? You just got to stop doing it. It's horrific.
Yeah, but I would say, like, no one's perfect. We can all learn from everything, and you know.
Oh yeah. That's fine. Just go shoot a guy down the road and be like, well, no one's perfect. You got to live and learn.
I mean, have you're a
sometimes.
perfect person.
What do
You
you mean?
haven't done
What do you
something-
mean? I wasn't allowed to go shoot that. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but you haven't made
Ridiculous.
mistakes. You haven't made mistakes. You're perfect. Like, you haven't had trauma affect your life. Like, you're.
I just got done telling you that not only have I dealt with all sorts of personal baggage, trauma, all sorts of things, right? Just like
Yeah.
everybody else has. That is not an excuse for me to be a horrible person.
But you learn from it. And you
I
learn.
don't get a pass. Like, no one's ever going to be like, well, Andrew, you being a horrible bastard, I'm going to go ahead and give you the pass on that because of past trauma. But for some reason, reflexively, women go, because horrible thing done to me. I was a perfect angel till some man corrupted me, so therefore doing horrible things to other people is acceptable. It's not acceptable.
I was traumatized when Azin was spitting my cup. I'm not spitting in anybody else's cup this time.
I mean, I think I actually just saw you put something in my cup.
You wish.
What the fuck? Okay, all right. Thank you, Rachel, for the soup chat, by the way.
With
thank you.
collagen.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, we have a chat here from Lucas. Can you read it, Deborah?
Yes. We missed that, to go back to that one from before, whenever. Nice Pee Wee Herman
That's right,
response.
thank you.
It's patently obvious that you're quite the highbrow intellect. Nevertheless, I've been married 22 years plus 2 kids. Oh, and by the way, my billing rate is $12.50 an hour, so do the math.
Wait, are you crying? Are you crying? Are you crying because you did horrible fucking things to a person and you finally realized that you're doing horrible things to a person?
No, I just.
You
think act like-
you need to cry. It's
Yeah,
good for you to cry. That's what that's called. It's called taking responsibility.
It's not like I get that, but you gotta understand, like, people aren't fucking perfect. People make mistakes, and we can learn from that. You shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm a fucking human being just because I didn't recognize something. I can change and I can grow
Oh,
from that.
boo-hoo. Oh, you did a horrible thing to a person, and it was pointed out that you need to stop being
Well, no one
horrible.
fucking
so now
told
you
me
cry.
I
No,
was
take
doing a
some
fucking horrible
accountability.
thing to
Take
somebody.
some accountability for the horrible fucking things that you're doing. And you should cry about it because it's fucking awful. It's awful.
So you never treated a girl like shit before?
No, I've never made a woman sleep on the ground like a dog and took her from walks and exploited her mental illness. It's psychotic.
And you know what? He doesn't. I don't even know if he has a fucking mental illness. So that's a fucking assumption.
He
first
sleeps
of
on
all.
the floor like a dog at his own
He
request. Of
wanted
course he has
to.
a
I didn't
mental
ask
illness.
him to fucking do that. He wanted to do that. That was his choice.
That's
I
how you
told him
know
he could
he's
sleep on the
mentally
effing
ill.
bed. He
When the
wanted to
guy
sleep on
comes
the
over and
floor.
wants to cut off his arm, are you going to be like, well, it was his choice?
I told him he could sleep on the bed. He chose to sleep on the floor. How is that my fucking fault?
Because you have agency and accountability. And
So
since
does
you have
he.
agency and
As an
accountability, you have
adult, he
something
can
called
choose
a
to sleep
duty.
on the floor. He can choose to sleep on the bed. That's not.
You
That
have a
doesn't make
duty.
me a
Listen,
horrible
listen.
fucking person.